Let's get right into our messages, okay? I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of Mama Universe and Papa Universe. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of my angels, spirit guides, ancestors, protectors, warriors, ascended masters that guide and protect me. I connect my heart and soul to the heart and soul of the gods and goddesses that flow through me as we, for you and I, collected to use our mind's eye to see. I connect my heart and soul to my heart and soul, always in connection to the Most High. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me move this seat up right quick. So I was gonna go live today, but the way this connection is set up, we gonna be in and out. And today ain't the day for me to be going in and out like that. So we gonna do this. But let's see what y'all got pulling through here on this 4-4 portal. It's about to be 909 at that. 4-4 portal. Ooh, nothingness. In this particular deck, Ocean Zen Tarot, this is one of my favorite cards because it speaks of the nothing, no thingness. Now we're going to look into the text here. That's the Hierophant card, and I opened it to the page thereafter, the Lovers. We're going to go to no thingness. It says, Buddha has chosen one of the really very potential words, shunyata. The English word, the English equivalent, nothingness, is not such a beautiful word. That's why I would like to make it no thingness. Just that in itself. There's a lot of words that we live by, a certain definition that was created by someone else that is human. It is up to you as the one having the human experience to decipher if that definition of that word is something that suits what it is that you want to express. So it says here, that's why I would like to make it no thingness. Because the nothing is not just nothing. It is all. It is vibrant with all possibilities. It is potential, absolute potential. It is unmanifest yet, but it contains all. So this is the pure essence of that balsamic phase right before you get into the new moon. In the beginning is nature, and the end is nature. So why in the middle do we make such a fuss when it's still nature? Why in the middle, becoming so worried, so anxious, so ambitious? Why create such despair? The key word here in this energy that we're speaking of, no thingness, is your power to actually create your reality. Look at that. Because I was just listening to something today, doing my research. But let me continue this before I go into what I'm about to say. And it says, nothingness to nothingness is the whole journey, which is basically the expression of nature is the beginning, nature is the end, but nature is always going through a process of rebirth. In general, nature is always going through a process of a rebirth. And this is on page 13. Okay. So what I'm going to actually give you the info on that I was diving into today, 4-4 portal, 911 on the timer, is the eyes and the thalamus. First and foremost, collective, your environment determines the fate of your cells, not genetics. Your environment determines the fate of your cell, but you also, self, you also have the power of creativity. Let's continue. You don't see with your eyes, you see with your brain. Quote, on the front of your eyes are roughly 7 million light receptors that let light in. The information goes to the first part of the visual cortex where it interacts with the 100 million cells. That's basically 100 cells for every one cell at the front of your eye. Those cells distribute the information around the visual cortex to deal with things like movement, handle movement. Because I was about to just say, instead of dealing, it's handling. It is the visual cortex to handle movement, color, etc. It's then reassembled and sent to a part of your brain called the thalamus. Now let's pause within that quote. The thalamus is actually a part of the body that is symbolic of Neptune. Your physical, or your not so much physical, your psychic and mystical capacities are dwelling in the Neptune aspect or persona or part of yourself. And we know Neptune is basically the higher octave, the octave. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, your personal core values. So let's say you have this imagination, of the way you want your life to be. And as we're seeing here, the word thalamus is connected to the part of the eyes that when all of this energy, as far as, the 7 million light receptors that let light in, the information that goes to the part of the visual cortex where it inherits with the 100 million cells, that is basically 100 cells for every one cell at the front of your eye. And those cells distribute the information around the visual cortex to handle things like movement, color, etc. All part of your imagination, all part of your vision or visualization practices. And then it is then reassembled and sent to a part of your brain called the thalamus. And this is where we're now picking up on Neptune's energy. But this is also the higher octave of Venus, which has a lot to do with love, relatedness, values, social urges, beauty, and things of that nature. The thalamus is known as the junction box of the brain, continuing the quote. The thalamus distributes that information to different parts of the brain, and when it comes back to the thalamus and it's reassembled, there is 80% more information added to it than initially there, which means that the reality you're experiencing moment by moment, day by day, 80% of this is coming from within your own mind. So when it comes to what it is that you're thinking about, we as a collective have to be much more accountable for what is processing here as far as your thoughts. Because in this universe, with the number one law of it being mentalism, as you thinketh, so shall it be. We have to be more accountable of our thoughts. Forget about everything that's happening outside of you, because what's happening outside of you is a result of what's happening within your thoughts. Okay? So that is the most powerful thing here on this planet, having a human experience, is to understand that you create the reality you experience. From what you think is nothing, it's just a thought. Well, that thought is creating exactly what you're seeing, and more than likely, you're seeing what you're seeing, and it's creating a whole nother thought. As within, so without, as without, so within. Correspondence. Let's continue. Let's continue. First card out is nothingness, and here we have comparison. Five of Swords, Venus in Aquarius, which has to do with your personal core values, the lower octave there of Neptune. And as we were just speaking of the thalamus, which is symbolic of Neptune, and Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. And here we have the first card with the tree and the bamboo. having basically like a face off here. So what I'm getting from this is, if you're unable to bend, you're going to break. If you're unable to bend, you're going to break. And here we have clinging to the past and success. That's 555 right there, 5556. So there's a very strong habit that is connected to the past, and thankfully and justifiably so, Neptune, not Neptune, but it is in Pisces, but Chiron is putting in that work right now when it comes to anything that is deeply rooted within your DNA, within yourselves, that would make you comfortable enough or justify what it is that you're about to do, so much so that you take that action, so much so that you do what it is that really go against your soul, but it makes your ego comfortable. Okay. Let me get some follow messages here. Show me comparison. Show me comparison. Going with the flow, the Ace of Cups. One more. We got projections at the bottom of the deck, though. What's at the top? Before I pull one more, we pull two. Beyond the illusion and breakthrough. Okay, so there is something that you've been going with the flow with for generations after generation after generation after generation, that now has come to a point where it's just like something has to change in order for there to be this level of success in your life, but this level of success with this feline tiger energy, which you could also connect it to Leo, the lion, feline. This has to do with you trusting your gut, which is also your fourth brain. You got your cerebrum, your cerebellum, your medulla oblongata, and then you have your solar plexus as far as your four pillars within your human body to have this human experience. This clinging to the past keeps you in the box though. Why? Because of these projections here. And these projections may be of energies that you may not even physically be able to see them, but they're around you because of the imprint of your soul. Can I have one more card here? We're going with the flow with the comparisons. Going with the flow with comparisons. I'm getting the energy here of proving someone right or wrong. And you're someone of a higher vibration that lives, the soul lives by cause and effect, not the right or wrong. Yes. And because of that, you're losing your mastery here. We got the master coming out here in reverse. Put it up right though. You got to step beyond the illusion here, beyond the root chakra. Now, the root chakra also connects to parts of the ego when we're speaking of the root chakra being the color red. Red represents Mars, but Mars also represents the number 9, and 9 represents the ego. We have here beyond the illusion. What was under that? We got turning in and breakthrough. Still here. Let me see what's coming through. Why was the master in reverse? That's like obviously what they want me to look at here for you. Why is the master in reverse? Obviously, you going with the flow is not necessarily you going with the flow if you're comparing yourself to other people. Why is the master in reverse? Why is the master in reverse? Why is the master in reverse? Not trusting divine intervention, not trusting the guidance that you're receiving from the source, with the wheel of fortune coming out here upright. Eight of Wands. Yeah, you're receiving a lot of messages from source, but you're not trusting the source that you're getting it from. Look at that, the moon. There could be some level of deception either of self, which is causing the deception of the information that's coming in from outside of you, which is actually divine intervention, or the other way around, where that which is coming from outside of you is intervening with the divine intervention that you have within your own shift of cycles within your feelings to get you to see this. But this could also be some form of manipulation that's happening outside of you that can cause you to not see what it is that's going on within you. Now it's 23. This. Two of coins, either way. Either way. Either way, you're still going to have to address these burdens that has you as the master in reverse, not knowing yourself. So you've come to that point of what you would call the dead end or the crossroads, which would be the Two of Wands. Queen of Cups, Ace of Wands. Cancer, Aries energy. Mars is in Cancer. Trust where your feelings are guiding you to go. Trust where your feelings are guiding you to go. The moon is about to be in a Libra. Full moon in Libra on the 5th or 6th, depending on where you're located. And at that same time, you got, as you have mentioned before, you have that full moon. When it's a full moon, it's in opposition to the sun, but the sun is in a conjunction to Chiron. So Chiron is basically, it's not hiding any of these doors that it's opening for you to finally heal and get rid of whatever these imprints that you have within your DNA that will constantly have you on autopilot doing shit that don't really serve you. Ace of Pentacles. This is a lot of movement forward. So we're in a time right now, okay, where the energies are not going to allow you to do anything that is not emotionally fulfilling. It's just not. Because you're in this position at this point to have success in your life, to be nurturing, to really develop whatever this is as far as a business or entrepreneurship, or if you are working somewhere, to thrive wherever it is that you're working. You know what I'm saying? But being mindful that you are emotionally fulfilled doing what you do, not doing it just because you got to get shit taken care of. That's not the time frame that we in. That is not the time frame that we in. Queen of Wands. You gotta know your life purpose. That's what's gonna get you through this. You gotta know your life purpose, and that's the truth. That's three aces right there. These are both of the cardinal queens so far, Cancer and Aries, Cancer in that order. It's at the bottom here. Yeah, Ace of Swords, and now we got the Hierophant here at the top. But now it's at the bottom. And now we got Five of Coins. What's the Five of Coins here for? Some of you have to take this journey on your own, and yeah, You're going to take this journey on your own to gain these Ace of Pentacles, and it's going to cause a tower moment in your life and others' lives because of you going through this process of going deeper within so you can fly higher. Show me the 5 of coins here. 10 of Wands. There it goes again. Why is it 10 of Wands here? We got the 2 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Venus and Cancer, personal core values when it comes to your feelings, your personal core values. And the thing about your core, if you have a weak core, you're going to have a weak back. Show me the 10 of Wands with the 5 of coins. Show me the 5 of coins with the 10 of Wands. Some of you are feeling left out in the cold because of something that you're highly passionate about, but you're not really being supported for what it is that you're passionate about. It's time for you to get away from that energy in terms of you getting away from that mentally. You know, 8 of Wands, I should. Mercury and Sag. 10 of Wands, 8 of Wands. We got the Emperor here, Aries energy. Once again, Aries came out 3 times. 3 times. You got to know your heart, mind, body. You got to know your heart, mind, and body. 18 Wands, that's the moon energy, the moon major arcana. So the moon is really bringing in a certain level of shift, which is the 3 of Swords, as far as the degrees that it's going to be in. It's in the 2nd decan. So with that being said, most times when you pull that 3 of Swords, or it's the 3 of Swords energy, this has to do with you feeling this level of, you know, feeling left out in the cold because you're worried about what others around you have to say about what it is that you got going on. I mean, fuck all that. Fuck all that. That's the truth. There go the Ace of Swords. The 10 of Pentacles. Listen. Everybody's about to have a win-win outcome with this full moon and Libra energy because things are being brought to balance. And Saturn's energy in Pisces is going to bring a lot of order in terms of shifting certain belief systems that no longer serve you, because the decan that Saturn in Pisces in is the 1st decan, which is the 8 of Cups. So you're walking away from those things or emotionally withdrawn from those things that no longer serve your development spiritually, which is literally where you can get all of your answers from as far as what to do next and what not to do. But you just have to have that level of discernment where you trust your own spirit. See, most people, as far as the collective, don't trust themselves, to let alone trust when spirit has to speak to them, or has been speaking to them. Ace of Cups. You got all the aces out here. Ace of Cups with the King of Coins. Listen. Things are about to shift if you hold on to certain things. And that's another thing about, you know, the energies that we're in with Mercury and Taurus that just stepped into Taurus yesterday, and being in this square to Pluto. It's really going to show you, you know, why certain things had to be rejected, and you're going to see why it had to be rejected based on what it is that you're about to experience as to the rejection. But if you hold on to what it is that you're being pulled away from, you're never going to be at that rate. You're not going to connect to what it is that you're being actually guided towards, divinely guided towards. Okay, so let's conclude this. We got connect with your emotions and release the old and rest. Water Guardian and Autumn. Let go of the need to be right comes out first. Peacekeeper, keep your peace. This, for some of you, put the puzzle pieces together. No cap, like this is the longest throughout the day that the connection has been superb. We have the Lord, take charge with authority. Keep your peace, align your pieces, and take charge with authority, and surround yourself with protective energy so you can move forward, down in different directions, left, right, up, left, right. I would say left, right, but they want you to just move forward. You've been looking sideways for too long here. You've been looking sideways for too long. It's time for you to look exactly as to the direction you want to go, which is also meaning that you can no longer make excuses for yourself. What else we got coming through? Trader, exchange energy to create abundance. And then the wolf, take care of your needs. Whatever it is that you're lacking, you're also in control as to why it's coming through into your reality as a lack. Step furthermore into cause and effect rather than right or wrong. Just look at how the universe is actually playing its part in your life at this time, as it is divinely intervening to get you to the most beautiful and blissful state so you can experience that blossoming abundance, because you all deserve it. You all deserve that. You all have earned that. Now, if you haven't, obviously, that's something to think about and shift it. Don't sit here and have a pity party for yourself. If you have a moment where you get sad and this, that, or whatever, you gotta let some shit, let it out. But at the same time, it's move forward. Move forward. Okay. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, whomever you feel like this would resonate with, and subscribe to the channel, especially if you vibing with my messages. Join us. Just make sure you are remaining your authentic self, because there's only one you. Unless you're an energy out here that doesn't, I don't want to even go there, but we're going to mention it. Unless you're a frequency that doesn't have a soul, then it's obvious you're going to be, doing other things that something else is doing, because you don't know. Get to know yourself first. Know yourself and do what you got to do. And do that shit unapologetically. Don't worry about what anybody has to say. And if you have people who love you, who say they love you, and you start to exude or show that authentic part of yourself, and you start to see them switch, it's time for you to start asking that question: did you really love me, or was it just a convenience? Just know I love you though.